Hi, Crystal.
Yes.
Hi, this is Cassie over at Titanium Investments, and I was just following.
Uh-huh.
We had spoken to you a little while back, and I believe you were under contract. So I was just figuring out, did that closing go through? Or are you still looking to sell the house?
No, I'm still looking to sell.
You're still looking to sell? Okay, great. Are you still under contract with them, or what's this? What happened with that situation?
Well, I guess that depends on how far back we talked.
Oh no, honey. Well, I don't mean to toot my own horn, okay? And so this is not how I'm about to say this, but I legitimately take a lot of pride in being a solution for people who have been through whatever you're about to tell me you've been through, because you say how far back and I'm like, oh Lord, you got problems, I'm gonna help solve them. Okay, so tell me what's going on. I think the last time we spoke to you was April 24th.
So that would have been when I had the $150,000 offer.
It looks like 130 is what you had it under, is what we have noted.
Okay, so I had gotten an offer for 150.
Mm-hmm.
They then came back and said, oh no, we're going to drop it down to 130.
Okay.
And we're not going to close for another 30 days.
Uh-huh.
That didn't work for me because we had already signed the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have been closing May 3rd with them. So I told them, I would agree to this, but this is, what I want. And we're still going to close at 30 days from signing. They then backed out. So then I had another offer come in for $137,800, to which I agreed. Like, I literally dropped down the price. Like, I was going to go with it because I just want to be done.
Mm-hmm.
They re-signed all the contracts except for the closing contract. And a week later, they asked me for pictures, and turned around a week later after that and backed out.
Mm.
So that's where I'm at.
Are they telling you why they're backing out?
No.
Okay.
All they say is it's not a good fit. And I'm just like, I've been honest with you about everything.
Right. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through a little series of questions, and I'm going to take some notes. So if I have like weird pauses, do not be, just be patient with me, if you will. So you had a couple people contract and back out. Okay, so I'm just going to look up a few things really fast. If you would, please let me double check. Can you tell me how many bedrooms and bathrooms we have here?
It's a 4-bed, 1 bath.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I actually think somebody asked that because it doesn't pull up on tax records. 4-1. And is it 1620 square feet?
1840.
1840, okay. And then looking at a few things really fast. Do you have like multiple buildings on the lot? Or what is going on? Okay, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on
with those? Like, what are they? Okay, so there's a 30 by 40 barn. It's directly behind the house. Okay. Well, not directly behind. There's like a yard, but it's behind the house. So that's what's between the house and Highway 71? Yeah. Okay. To the south of the barn, that used to be a chicken coop. We turned it into a garden shed. So we use it for garden tools. Gotcha. To the east of the chicken coop, there is his hunting shed where he kept like his traps and stuff. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a few other things. Is there a specific time that you want to sell this by? Like, do you have a time frame like that you need to sell it by? Like, what is your reason for selling it? Are you relocating? Are you downsizing, upsizing? Do you already have another house? Getting divorced, and his mother lives next door. Oh, yeah, I understand. You would probably want a little space there. Getting divorced, and ex-NIL is next door neighbor. Okay, so when you sell this, has he already moved out? Or have you already? He doesn't live here no more. Okay. All right. Let me just, I'm going to text you right now my email address. 816. Okay. And what I would love for you to do is if you are able to either text or email me the photos that you said you already have for the other people. It helps me to get some eyes on it, just like condition wise and whatnot. What I'm going to do is, because the comps or the tax records pull a smaller square footage, so I'm going to go into detail. I'm going to comp this property. You know, the location of it is kind of unique, so it's going to take me a little bit longer. What I want to do is I'm going to comp it. What we will typically do is we'll either purchase a property and we're going to fix or develop, like rehab it to the maximum ability, or we're going to develop on it, or we're going to rent it out and hold the property, right? So they're typically what we're going to do with a property that we purchase. So I'm going to try to run numbers in a couple of different ways. I'm going to look at what the maximum value is. It is kind of in an interesting location in that it's like on a strip with, you know, the fields, you know, going about it. So it's going to take me just, you know, maybe a little bit of time to get that comp situation right, because, you know, I don't know 100% why in the world, you know, people would get it under contract and keep terminating it at that price point. I'm going to do another thing, and I want to make sure that this is, you know, accurate before I go on. I got to make sure that I can get my people. Well, where in the world is, okay, yeah. We should be fine, like on the location. I just am gonna go ahead and dig into it a little bit more on the comps. What can you tell me anything about the condition of the property? Like if there's anything wrong with it, like does it need a new roof or air conditioning or anything like that? Okay, because people are so spoiled
Well, yeah.
Chances are you're going to want to put central air in. I don't use the air conditioning. Now, my husband did because he, was a hairy man and weighed 250 pounds.
Right.
I don't use the air conditioning. It has window units in it.
Okay.
I just don't use it. The roof is fine. It needs siding on the north side. It's currently in a wrap. It needs trim. The rooms you're going to probably want to repaint. My child with special needs decided, every room needed to be wrote on.
Huh? That's awesome. I mean, it's not, but it is.
15 years old and everything needed to be wrote on.
Well, I'm pretty sure that made sense. Yeah, no, that's.
Give him paper and he chooses the wall.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now, the dining room, kitchen, and living room need flooring. We were going to put flooring in, but he left, and I, at that point, could only afford the bills. I can't afford to put flooring in.
Gotcha.
Because we are country people, we wanted rustic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably what turns a lot of people off to the house. The kitchen, the dining room, and the hallway, the walls are not sheetrock.
Mm-hmm.
They are OSB because we were going to put corrugated tin along the bottom of the wall.
Yeah, like a chair rail. Yeah.
Yeah. In the arc, is it an arc or it comes to a point? On each side of the dining room and kitchen was going to be corrugated tin up by the ceiling. The backsplash in the kitchen was also corrugated tin. The island wraparound is corrugated tin.
Yeah.
The bathroom counter, the kitchen counter is wood. We wanted rustic. The mantle above the fireplace in the living room is a piece of a tree. Like it's really cool, but
it's specific.
And that's probably
So it's kind of like a unique or a niche taste, somebody has to like that style to be the right person for it, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
Which is probably without telling me that's probably what did it.
Okay, well, let me ask you a couple more questions. Do you guys I'm assuming you have a mortgage still on the property? No? So the property is owned free and clear. So you're talking about you guys can sell this and it's going to be good to go. There's no problems at title, okay? All right. Well, what I am going to do is I am going to get some detailed comps. I'm going to look for those photos in my email if you are able to shoot those to me. And then I'll touch base with you. If not this afternoon, are you good anytime tomorrow for me to call you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm just going to forewarn you when you get pictures. I've been in process of going through stuff, packing stuff.
Oh, honey.
I've already started moving stuff out of here.
You say less. You don't even understand the zombies I have walked through. We are thousands of properties in. I have been to some that don't even faze me. I just see right through it.
The pictures. I'm packing a house from 6 people. And I'm one person.
Yeah.
So my house is a complete and total mess, and everything that I do, my son's not here at the moment, So everything I was doing would get undone.
Oh, poor baby.
So,
I have a dog that does that, honest to God. Every time I pack to go anywhere, he jumps on my bed and opens my suitcase and unpacks me. And I'm like, you little turd. You know, like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, no, I get it. Look, moving isn't fun no matter who you are, much less when you've got, you know, a divorce going on, a mother-in-law for a neighbor, a child who's unpacking you, and six people. Yeah, no, that's a lot. I totally understand. That isn't even going to phase me.
All the pictures every room will be a mess.
Oh, no problem. It's no problem. I don't even look at that kind of stuff. That's different than your normal buyer, I suppose. But yeah, we just we're looking at the numbers more so than anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to see, and I want to verify what our market value is. The last thing I'm going to want to do is get you in a position where you guys think you're going to be able to sell this house for a certain price. If I feel like I can typically discover, you know, why it's not selling at that price, or if it should sell at that price and they just were not as competent as us, which again,
I literally had one guy today, just about an hour and a half ago, tell me that my house is worth $50,000.
Well, like, that seems highly.
And I'm sitting here going, a 50?
That seems highly suspect considering your tax assessed value is 100.
Like,
if that's the case, then you definitely should have disputed your taxes a long time ago.
Well, and you know that our taxes didn't go up until recently.
Right.
And so I'm like, I know my house is worth at least $100,000.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our process. I'm really, really big on understanding exactly what the property's value is on the market, not just like a tax assessed value. Really, really big on understanding if I were to hire an appraiser, you know, if I wanted to get a bank loan on this, you know, to fix it up and put a tenant in it, what would my bank give me? I own a brokerage. It's just not there local. So I couldn't be a realtor on the property there, but I know a realtor there. You know, a lot of times if I think your house would qualify for like a traditional loan, I would tell you that's how you're going to get the most money. I'm going to tell you exactly. I run it in multiple different ways, and I tell you what I think you're going to be able to net from everything that I know in the situation, and I will offer you my best given those things. Now, that comes with a certain amount of transparency needed from you, which it sounds like you're very transparent, and you've been very transparent with these previous people. So maybe they just were off on something. But when I consider the numbers, I consider the repairs, because if you were to list this on the MLS with an agent, you have to consider those repairs as well, because your buyers, in order to get a loan, are going to request the repairs being done, or their lender is, right? So that's why I'm a different kind of buyer than that. But if that was the case, like, I'm 1,000% honest. Like I said, I own a brokerage. I am a realtor. I am going to try to tell you exactly what I think your property can get in as is condition, so that you guys don't have to consider the repairs, and what's going to put you guys in the best situation to move forward and on to the next chapter. You know, we want it to be a win for everybody. And I mean, we're not the kind of people that, I'm not going to come in and lowball you, but if I think your property is worth $50,000, I will tell you, and I will tell you why. Okay. If I think your property is worth right now $90,000, I will tell you, and I will tell you why. If I think your property could be worth $150,000, I will tell you, and I will tell you why. It will come with reasoning and transparency from us. So hopefully that will give you peace of mind, since you've kind of already been through the ringer. While you're going through the ringer, already. So I want to take a few minutes, to really look into it for you and try to figure out the answers to those things,
So whether you rent it or you sell it,
Yeah.
Whether you rent it or when you fix it up and finish it or whatever, and then you rent it or you sell it, it will go quickly.
Yeah.
Because of the school district it's in.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I like it as a rental, but I have to do those, I'll just give you a little tiny tidbit. So if I were to say, okay, here's what I'm going to do, Crystal. I'm going to offer you $100,000 for your property. Right now, for me, with rates, I may not be able to get more than $1,000 a month for the property. But that's me looking at, okay, maybe I will be able to get more. Maybe if I can turn something into a second bathroom, maybe I can get $1,200 or something like that. But that's what I'm looking at, because I definitely don't want to be if I were to buy it as a rental and I can only rent it out for $1,000 a month, I need to be lower than 100,000. So I may only be able to offer you 80 if that's the case. So it may be better for me to come in there and do the finishes and, list it. Now, if the property is worth more than that, and that's, that's where I would be looking at it for a flip. You know what I'm saying? Where I come in and maybe I have to neutralize some things, and maybe I have to put in floors and do the paint. And, this is what I do for a living. So I know what that's going to cost. And I'm going to tell you, I'll show you my numbers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe then, at least at the very worst, you have some clarity on what your best situation is. I actually recently did this exact same thing with my own father. He had a property that, he had needed to continue finishing out the updates. He had partially finished new flooring. He had partially finished, this, that, and the other. There's parts of the house that didn't have trim in it. Well, what had happened is he and his wife bought a house, where they want to retire, but that's an hour away from the house he lived in, but he wasn't retired yet. So for probably 8 years or something silly, maybe not that long, 7 years, he would stay at the one house when he had to work, and then he'd go stay at the rest of go stay at his retirement house, the house they really lived in, the other 4 nights a week.
Oh God.
But that's what they wanted. I understand why they did it, because my whole family lives out there and they found the perfect situation. So I don't blame him. But he never did finish fixing out the house. And I told him, I was like, look, if you do these things, you can get this value for your house. If you do nothing, you're going to get this value. If you, try to sell it this way, you're going to get this value, And so it was a matter of, we ended up, versus going and rehabbing the whole house, I ended up telling him, you need to, set aside about $13,000 and do all these finish outs and all these fixes, and you will absolutely get this value. We got more, when it was actually listed and said and done. But, they don't teach real estate. You got a lot going on as it is. And they don't teach people how to do this. I'd never know how to do this if I wasn't in real estate. My dad's an actual genius, and he had no idea how to figure out those things. So it's just kind of you have options, and, just figuring out how you get the most value out of your property and get to move on to the next chapter. So that's the way I'm gonna run the numbers. That way you can kind of just see the way I'm looking at it and go from there and pick from your options. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And look, it could be that I come back and say, your property, I can have this closed in, 3 weeks, at 130. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I have no idea why those other two people didn't perform. I have no idea why somebody would come and say it's worth $50,000 either. You know, maybe they were, you know, on the moon trying to, maybe they didn't know what they were doing. But what I can tell you is I will do my absolute best and I'll look into it and I'll kind of tell you what your options are. So if I don't give you a call back tonight, I should at least email you and you'll hear from me tomorrow.
Okay, do you want me to email the pictures to you? Because I can only, when I email them, I can only send like 3, maybe 4 pictures at a time. And it ends up being like 10 emails.
Oh, yeah. You can text them to me if you prefer, if it's easier.
If I could text them to you, then I can group them and label them in the room.
Yeah, do that. It's super easy for me. But also sometimes I do email. I do email and text because sometimes I'll work at night when it's like super quiet and my team isn't around. And I schedule out emails and texts to go out the next day when people are awake and not crazy like me working in the middle of the night.
Yeah, either way, it's not going to bother me. I'm not going to wake up to it.
Okay, that's how I am too. Once I'm out, I'm out. Yeah, you're going to wake me up either.
You're not going to get me.
Yeah, no, me either. I sleep like the dead. I mean, I had a tornado throw a tree through my roof once and it didn't even wake me up.
Oh, God.
I know, it's kind of dangerous, right?
Right.
The only thing that wakes me up is my dogs. So, yeah. All right. Well, Crystal, it was good talking to you, and I hope that I find the best solution for you, and I will look forward to speaking to you somewhere either later or tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Holy moly.
Missouri's happening.